This meeting is being recorded.
You're live.
Excellent. Thank you, Joanne. Consistent with Chapter 107 of the Acts of 2022, this meeting will be conducted by remote participation. The public may not physically attend this meeting, but every effort will be made to allow the public to view and listen to the meeting in real time and participate when necessary. If you're calling in a phone, you can press *9 to request to speak. If you're watching on a computer or a device, there's a raise hand button that you can tap or press to request to speak. Please use other of these options to be recognized to speak. So right off the bat, I want to recognize that we have Councilor O'Hara, we have Councilor O'Neill, we have Councilor Majota, we have the Honorable Mayor Craig Verger, and we have our clerk, Joanne Sanos, on the call tonight. We will be taking some things out of order. And so we'll start with CC 2022-004, Gilman Nolan Mamhard ordered the City Council audit and amend the GCO to be consistent with the new resident parking regulations adopted by the City Council on May 25th, 2021. This was continued from 6/6/22 and will be continued again. And if I could refer this to Mayor Verger for an update.
Sure. The last few months that Chip Payson was with us, he was working on all the parking ordinances, which over the years have gotten a bit convoluted as the council made changes to create new no parking areas, resident parking areas. The ordinances didn't necessarily keep up with it. So Chip spent a long time on that. Suzanne's given it the once over. So it will be in the Mayor's report this week for the council next week. So you should have something to actually refer to next time ONA meets.
Excellent. Thank you, Mayor Verga. Next would be number 3, CC 2022-014 Gilman, amend the City Council Rules of Procedure by adding Rule 19, request to seek information from city staff. This is referred back to ONA and General Counsel. General Counsel is preparing a statement on this, and they're not ready to go for this tonight. So we're going to be continuing this as well, Joanne. So if you can give us a couple of dates for both of these. You're muted.
The next ONA meeting, you're not going to be meeting because it's Labor Day. So the following meeting will be September 19th.
Excellent. Thank you. So that being what happened, we'll move on to our boards and committees. And do we have John Hicks is on, Karen. Is Judith Hoglander on tonight?
Yes.
Hi, Judith. How you doing tonight?
Can you hear me?
There you are. How you doing, Judith?
I'm well, thank you.
So you want to get be a new appointee to the Community of the Arts.
That's correct.
If you just want to tell us a little bit about yourself, that would be excellent.
Okay, well, I have a history in music and in voice back a long time ago. And when I stopped singing, I started using my voice for the arts and to advocate for the arts. So I've spent a lot of time volunteering and advocating for the arts. And I believe that that is important in Gloucester. The arts are very important in Gloucester. So I'm willing to do whatever I can to make it better.
Excellent. I believe most people are familiar with you and all the work that you and your husband do in the area. We miss you in Magnolia. You're wonderful people. So I would start with, is there any questions from the Ordinance Administration Committee? And we'll start with Councilor O'Hara.
Thank you, Councilor Nolan. I just want to thank Judith and also thank her husband, Harry, who have done so much for the entire city over the years. My knowledge on Judith and Harry go back way back to when they had their residence right next to the Magnolia Pier. And as a kid, we were down there every day and would see Harry and Judith when they weren't flying. But they're wonderful people, and again they do great things, and Judith will continue to do great things on the Arts Committee, and I want to thank her again and wish her well.
Excellent. Thank you, Councilor Hara. Councilor Majota.
Yes, I just want to say thank you, Judith, for serving the community. Arts is very important. My mother-in-law is an art teacher, and I always struggle as an artist, so I just appreciate the arts, and thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Councilor Majota. Judy, yourself and Harry have done so much for the city, and so many people have no idea how much you've done, but we really appreciate you, and thank you for stepping forward to continue with the city. Mayor Verga, would you like to add a few words?
Sure. I'll talk in general about the Committee for the Arts and specifically about Judith and her appointment. So first of all, when I took office, the Committee for the Arts consisted of one member whose term was to expire at the middle of February. So basically, we had 6 weeks of one member and myself automatically as a member. So there were reappointments just didn't happen over the last several years. And the Committee for the Arts has an important job to do, one of which is to review public art recommendation, to make a recommendation on public art installations. And so we are looking to do some changes to the ordinance, but I didn't want to hold off on reconstituting the committee itself for that rewrite of the ordinance. So before you tonight, I believe there are, counting Judith, 4 total members up for appointment or for recommendation to full council. A couple more will be coming. One of the things in the ordinance, just as a heads up, because you guys will be looking at it in a couple weeks, is it has the mayor. It's kind of vague, but it implies the mayor is a voting member and the 7th member. So we're looking to make the mayor more ex officio and have 7 actual members and a couple of alternate members, because one of the issues we have for a lot of these smaller boards and commissions is reaching a quorum. So having the alternate members should help with that. So that's the general on the Committee for the Arts. Judith was the former chair of the committee, and as Jamie pointed out, and Sean, you did as well, she and Harry have been very involved with the city, specifically in the arts. So when it was time to reconstitute, the first call I made was to Judith. So I'm looking forward to her being back on board and getting this committee filled out. One thing you'll notice is there's some staggered terms. The ordinance says they're 3-year terms, but because of no members, I didn't want to have everybody up for reappointment in another 2 years. So I talked to Suzanne Egan, and she agreed that we can do 1, 2, and 3-year appointments, at least for this first batch of appointees. So I believe Judith is up for a 2-year appointment. And
Yes.
That's all I have for right now. I'll say more about the others as they come up.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you, Mayor Verga. So that being said, Councilor Hara, do we have a motion?
Yes. Ordinance Administration recommends that the City Council appoint Judith Hoaglander to the Committee of the Arts, term ending February 14, 2024, and I so move.
Frank, you're mute.
Second, sorry.
And this will be a roll call. We'll start with Councilor Hara,
Yes.
Councilor Majota,
100% yes.
Councilor Nolan, absolutely. Judith, thank you very much. And thank you, Mayor Verga, for putting this as a point and picking some strong people that we're going to be talking about later. This is excellent.
Thank you.
So next, we're going to be bringing up Karen, and I don't want to kill this, but Ristaban. I'm sorry, Karen.
That's right. It's Ristaban. Hi.
How you doing
Hey,
tonight?
everyone. Good. How are you? Yeah.
Oh, we're doing well, and we're really excited to get this committee going. If you could just tell us a little bit about yourself, it'd be excellent.
Sure. I work for Essex County Community Foundation, and I'm the program director for the Creative County Initiative, which is investing in arts and culture throughout Essex County, the 34 communities of Essex County. I've been in that position for 5 years. Before that, I worked in the music industry for 3 years. And then before that, I was teaching art full-time at Hamilton Wenham High School. I also was a volunteer president of the Rocky Neck Art Colony for a 10-year period, and I still sit on that board. I'm also a practicing musician and sometimes visual artist.
Excellent. So I'd like to start with asking if there's any questions from our committee, and we'll start with Councilor O'Hara.
I just want to thank Karen. As Council Majota alluded to, I totally admire anyone in the arts, as I have very little knowledge, and I can't sing a beat. I can draw a square box. So I have full admiration for you, and again, everyone in the arts, and wish you well, and thank you for willing to step forward to help the city. I wish you the best.
Thank you.
Councilor Majota.
Yeah, same thing. Thank you so much for joining the committee. It's just a great thing to serve the community. And thank you. Appreciate it.
Karen, your admiration going back to the Rocky Neck Art Association, who's been around for a long time with us. Looked at your resume and time you spent there. It makes me almost kind of feel a little bit old. How it goes, but it's something I've known about for a long time. I don't have any creative features about me with art unless it's with metal. Clay, no, not so much. Paint, no. But I want to thank you for the dedication for the arts and for you stepping forward tonight. And with that, I'd like to ask our Mayor Verger, if he'd like to add to this.
Great, sure. Karen's another one who stepped forward when she got wind that I was looking to reconstitute this committee, and I'm so glad she is stepping forward. I'm trying to make this a varied committee in terms of the backgrounds of the people. I mean, there's a lot of crossover, but one thing for me as a musician that was important for this committee was to have someone who is indeed a musician on board, and Karen does certainly fit that as a singer and a guitar player. Judith has the background as a singer, for I guess now retired singer, as well as in paint. We'd love to get somebody who's got into the performance arts. We're still looking for a couple of members. Just want to put that plug out there. Rebecca Reynolds will be coming up, as a background in sculpture. So I think it's a good group of people with varied backgrounds in the arts, and I think Gloucester's going to be well served by all of them.
Excellent. Mayor Verger, maybe next time we can find a left-hand bassist.
One of these days, sure.
Karen, thank you very much. With that being said, Councilor O'Hara, do we have a motion?
Well, administration recommends the city council appoint Karen Risterman to the Committee of the Arts term ending February 14, 2023, and I so move.
Second.
And this is a roll call vote. We'll start with Councilor O'Hara.
Yes.
Councilor Majota.
Yes.
Councilor Nolan, yes. And again, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention the last candidate that have you been up to date with your swearing in and your ethics test?
No, I am going to do it and file it on Friday when I get back from Maine. I'm calling in from vacation right now.
Excellent. Well, enjoy your vacation. We look forward to it. And we look forward to seeing you next Tuesday night as well.
Okay, will do.
Thank you. So next we have, again, on the Committee for the Arts, Rebecca Reynolds. Rebecca, how you doing?
How about now?
We can hear you now, Rebecca.
So I'm sorry, I'm not able to change my name. I'm listed incorrectly as Joanne Castano. we share a Zoom platform together. She is the chair of the Manship Artist Residency, where I am the executive director.
Well, it's actually excellent because we know her name as well.
Yeah. So I'm a former member of the Committee for the Arts. I'm being nominated for a one-year term. Part of the reason why I'm on this year is because my background is in, I'm an art historian. My specialty is American sculpture. I worked in museums. I have a lot of experience with restoration, renovation of sculpture and other work. And the tablet rock is something that's coming up, so I can help with that, help the city oversee that work that needs to be done. So as I mentioned, I'm at Manship now. I do have a background, many years in museums, done a lot with public art, a number of outdoor sculpture exhibitions in Boston. And yeah, I'm grateful to have been asked to contribute in this way to get the Committee for the Arts going again.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Rebecca. We'll open up the questions to the floor, and this will start with Councilor O'Hara.
Rebecca, we thank you for accepting the mayor's asking to be on the committee. You certainly have a diverse experience in the arts, and we wish you the best going forward, and thank you again.
Thank you.
Councilor Majota.
Rebecca, very, very impressive. There's a lot of arts there, which is, again, simply amazing. I'm 0% skills in art. So I love it all. And yeah, thank you for joining the committee. It's amazing.
My pleasure. I have to say, I have taken that test before, but I do need to take it this week again. So I will do that very soon after this meeting.
Excellent. Rebecca, I'm kind of embarrassed to say, but you've worked for more museums than I've been in.
Oh.
That's something I'd like to, as I get older, to do a little bit more travel and stuff. But your history with art and everything you've done it speaks for itself. It's wonderful. And we're so happy to have you.
Thank you. I am a big advocate for artists.
Yes.
I know what they do for our communities, and I want them to have the opportunity and the support to continue doing it.
No, we really appreciate that, and thank you for doing everything you do. Very impressive resume. Next question will be to Mayor Verger.
Yes, well, Councilor Nolan, you just mentioned the resume. It's very extensive, very impressive, and specifically, as I mentioned earlier, I was going to call it Joanne because I'm reading the screen here, but Rebecca has the background in sculpture, which is going to be a big part, because I really would like the committee to tackle the tablet rock situation, both the plaque and the frame, the stone frame around it. And I think that, let me rephrase that, I know the expertise that Rebecca has is going to be very beneficial for that project.
Excellent. Thank you, Greg. I know that we have talked about the tablet rock before. I know that's one of your priorities, and I admire you for that. So without any other further ado, do we have a motion, Councilor O'Hara?
Ordinance Administration recommends that the City Council appoint Rebecca Reynolds to the Committee of the Arts, term ending February 14th, 2023, and I so move.
I second.
And this will be a roll call. We'll start with Councilor O'Hara.
Yes.
Councilor Majota.
Yes.
Councilor Nolan. Yes, absolutely. And Rebecca, you said you'll be taking your test and being sworn in, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
Is that in person?
I know it's in Zoom. Well, the test, I believe you have to talk to Joanne about the.
I did the test. I mean, I've done the test before. So yeah. Okay. Great. That's perfect. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. And have a great night, Rebecca.
You too.
So next up, and I don't want to kill this, but we have Miranda Aisling.
I don't see her on the call.
All right. Greg, would you like to talk a little bit about Miranda? I know we want to get this committee going.
Sure.
Is this someone that you feel confident
Yeah.
for us to speak about?
I would say yes. I don't have her resume in front of me. I did read it. You'll see she's got an extensive background as well.
She
Currently
does.
working at the Cape Ann Museum. So again, it brings another branch of the art world into this committee, which I think is going to be extremely helpful. And again, I'm appreciative that these individuals have stepped forward because they feel this is something that's been, I guess, lacking, overlooked for a little bit too long in the city. And this is an opportunity to sort of get us back on the right track as far as art goes, not just the public art, but there's a lot going on, as we know, in this community. Gloucester's, besides fishing, I guess art is probably in the top 2 to 3 items that Gloucester's known for. So I believe that we're in good hands with the group that we've put forward. And as I said, stay tuned. There'll be a few more coming in the next week or so.
All right, without, there's no objections from the committee. I feel confident reading her resume, and she may be held up or having technical difficulties. I have no problem reading her forward for a full council at the next meeting.
No
Okay with that.
objection.
Excellent. So if Councilor Harrow, would you like to read the motion?
Yes. Ordinance Administration recommends that the City Council appoint Miranda Esling to the Committee of the Arts, term ending February 14, 2025, and I so move.
Second.
All right, and this is about a roll call. We'll start with Councilor O'Hara.
Yes.
Council Majota,
Yes.
Council Nolan, yes. And we don't tend to do this a lot. Her resume is excellent. She does work at the Cape Ann Museum, and I believe it's a committee that we don't want to hold back on. I think that for our own architecture in our city, that we need to move this committee forward, and hopefully she'll be there for the full council next Tuesday. Mayor Verga.
I just want to add one thing for the members who new committee members who are there out in Zoom land. Once you've taken your oath, you can get down to business. You haven't officially have a 90-day appointment from me, so you don't have to wait for the full council vote. So if you want to start doing what you need to do, feel free to do so. You should have a quorum with the 4 members that have been put through so far.
Excellent. Thank you, Mayor Verga. So next on the list on the Council of Aging, for the young chap, Stephen M. Aiello. Is there a Stephen M. Aiello in the room?
I just want to say that I don't have one artsy bone in my body, so I'm glad you didn't put me on the committee for the arts. But I am old, so I guess that I fit on the Council on Aging. For the record, Stephen M. Aiello, 22 Linden Road, Gloucester. As you know, I've recently retired from the fire department, and in my years on the fire department, I did several presentations at the Rose Baker Senior Center. I was actually the liaison between the fire department and the Council on Aging back in those days. I did presentations on, preventing falls, installing carbon monoxide detectors, et cetera, et cetera. I also worked, some of you may know, I also worked at Brooksby Village for quite some time with the elderly population there. I was an EMS officer, provided emergency medical services to the aging population there. And I'm aging. So I don't know what better qualification I have to serve on such a committee than to almost be a senior citizen.
You had me at Aiello.
Well, that's a qualification to be on some of the departments in the city, but I'm not quite sure if it's a qualification to be on a board.
With your care and character, I think you've picked a great board, and I think it's going to work out fine. So we'll start with council questions, and we'll start with Councilor O'Hara.
Thank you. I want to thank Steve for stepping forward. He's done so much for the city. Steve and I go way back. We graduated together from Gloucester High School, and he's done, again, so much for our city, and he'll continue to use his expertise and knowledge on the Council of Aging. So again, Steve, I can't say enough for your willingness to continue to help And we wish you well going forward, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Councilor Majota.
Yes, Stephen, thank you for everything you've done for the city and everything you'll do on the Council of Aging. So I appreciate that, and I think we're all aging every day. Have a good one.
That's a good thing.
Yes, it is. 100%.
All right, so without all joking aside, Steve, I love to joke with you. You're a great guy, and I consider you family, going back as long as I can remember Tally's Corner. I think this is a great fit for you, and your service to the city has already been astronomical. I think you'll be perfect at the center, and I know that you'll help and bring things forward. So I couldn't be more excited for this, and I look forward to it in more ways than you know.
I appreciate that.
Mayor Verger, is there anything you'd like to say?
Sure. So I had given Steve a call a couple of weeks ago about just to check in on his wife. And while we were chatting, he mentions his interest in serving. And I asked him to send me an email, and he had listed a few boards he might be interested in. And Felicia Webb, as you guys know, the outgoing administrator over at CADA is moving away. And so she's stepping down from the board. So that was the top of my mind. So we chatted about that, and it seemed like Steve had a good fit, and what he just laid out pretty much is evidence that he is definitely a good fit for the Council on Aging. So I'm happy that he stepped forward and he's volunteering, and I think we're in good shape.
I think he's an excellent fit. Thank you, Mayor Verga. So without any further ado, Councilor Harrod, do we have a motion?
Ordinance Administration recommends to the City Council appoint Stephen M. Aiello to the Council on Aging, term ending February 14th, 2025, and I so move.
Second.
And this will be by roll call. We'll start with Councilor Harrod.
Yes.
Councilor Majota.
Absolutely.
Councilor Nolan. I can't wait. Thank you. Have you been up to date with the ethics test?
I completed it, I think, for like the 16th time now, because you have to do it every 2 years. So I did complete that and get that over to Joanne, but I'll stop into the office probably tomorrow and get sworn in.
All right. And I just want to let you know that the clerk's office is our office, and we're very much sensitive to the employees there. We love them very deeply. So I expect you to be on your best behavior when you go.
Let me tell you, she put me in my place more than once.
All righty. Mayor Verga.
Well, if you're in the office tomorrow, Steve, just stop in and say hello across the hall.
I will.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Steve. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Thank you. See you next week.
Take care. Next up, we have John Hicks. John, how you doing tonight?
I got to unmute. There we go. Can you hear me?
We can hear you well, and
Okay.
You're up for the Gloucester Cultural Council, and we're just wondering if you could tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh boy, I washed up here in 1975, and one of the first things I did here, I was part of the Cape Ann Repertory Theater in the 1970s, and I've been doing work mostly directing musicals in local school systems, Gloucester, Rockport, Ipswich, Salem even, for years and years and years and years. I've been doing too much. And I also am part of a group. I played today at the Rose Baker Center with the good old Salty Jazz Band. I started there 15 years ago, volunteering, playing music, playing with the old men, and now I'm one of the old men. So that's amazing how that happens. But I've done a lot of work for the Rose Baker Center and the Gloucester Council on Aging. I've presented programs for them. We've made recordings. We've done, but like I say, I've spent 15 years volunteering there making music. But my background is theater and music, and I've worked with dance companies, and so I'm sort of a mainstay in the local musical community. I work with just about anybody. I back up Karen Ristabit in a jazz trio. If you're at the Wales Jaw next Sunday, we're playing at noon. And we also play at the Emerson, which is really nice, but they haven't booked us at the Beauport yet. Maybe I can do something unethical and get a gig there. But no, seriously, I'm very, very happy. Greg recruited me, and Tom Stein, who's leaving the Cultural Council, is taking a teaching position in China. So Tom and I played at the Harbor Loop on Thursday. So it's I'm everywhere. So I'm very happy to be moving up into the world of trying to recruit other people to support the arts.
Excellent. Thank you, John. We'll open up to questions, and we'll start with Councilor O'Hara.
John, thank you very much for willing to step forward to help out on the Gloucester Cultural Council. You obviously could be on the arts, the Council on Aging. You've done so much, but we do appreciate you willing to step forward and wish you the best. Thank you. Well,
I want to start someplace where just get in the door, learn the processes. It's a administration and management is a very different thing from actual performance. So it's really something I need to, I've done a little work in audience development and direct mail kind of stuff. That I have some useful experience, but I think a big part of my usefulness is going to be recruiting people to apply for grants and to try to get the Mass Cultural Council deeper into our community.
Excellent. Thank you, John. And now we'll move on to Councilor Majota.
I just want to say thank you, John. It seems like you are very well diverse in the city. You are very much rooted here. I love how you say you sort of washed up here. Haven't heard that one before, so that was great. And no, just thank you. It's great to have people who are passionate, who love the city that they live in, and just want to do great things. So thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Excellent. John, I'd like to say that I don't believe that you were washed up here. I believe you were brought here. The whole identity, I've heard a lot about you in the Harbor Loop concert. You got a lot of young talent to go up against down there coming up in the next few weeks. And it's exciting. And I love your enthusiasm for the arts and the culture and the music. And again, this has been a great night, and I really can't thank Mayor Verger enough for the selections that are in front of us. I think that everybody perfectly fits, and it's going to be wonderful. And I'm looking.
The amount of talent in this community is frightening, is staggering. That's all I can say. Yeah.
I go back to watching videos last night at Anne Malloy's house with her talent night, and on Saturday, and this is an unbelievable art, culture, and music city. And going off topic here, sorry. Have you been sworn in, and have you taken the ethics test?
I'm in the middle of the ethics thing, and I will bring my certificate to City Hall tomorrow.
Excellent, John. Thank you again. We look forward to seeing you on Tuesday night. Mayor Verger, I saw your hand up again.
Yes, I just want to say, John, good job giving plugs for your upcoming gigs. Not to use the airwaves for that.
Karen's gigs.
And John has been everywhere. He played in my studio with Sasquatch on my old web radio show. So and then he turned up on the stage at City Hall with the kids from Vets when they did their program a few months ago.
We'll be at the band shell in about a week. This Sunday, I think we're bringing the kids to the Gloucester band shell. Our 4th and 5th grade band kids.
Great. So that's the enthusiasm we need, and I'm so glad we have it with John and the others. So thank you so much, John, for your willingness to step forward.
My pleasure.
Excellent. Thank you, John. And I believe at this point, looking for a motion to adjourn.
We want to appoint.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Sorry,
right.
Counselor.
City Council appoint John Hicks to the Gloucester Cultural Council, term ending February 14, 2025, and I so move.
Second.
And this will be roll call vote. We'll start with Counselor Hara.
Yes.
Counselor Majota,
Yes.
Counselor Nolan, yes. Thank you, John. Now we can have a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor by roll call? Counselor Hara,
Yes.
Counselor Majota,
Yes.
Counselor Nolan, yes. Thank you, everybody, for coming tonight. Counselor Neal, thank you. Have a great night, everybody.
Night.
Take care.